Three, two, one.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple with your humble host Hunter here. Happy Halloween month, everybody. I've got another review here for the RSS, the Real Spooky Series. Got a review here from Ma, which came out, of course, last year, back when you could go to a theater comfortably. This was directed by Tate Taylor, who I was sitting here, I was like, why do I know that name? Tate Taylor's actually directed a couple really great movies. Get On Up, which, rest in peace, my king, Chadwick Boseman, one of his best roles. The Help, which, while I'm not a fan of the message and how it's executed, I recognize how good their performances are. And he was in Winter's Bone, which is an incredible movie. The writer of this, Scotty Landis, this is really his first big feature film debut. He wrote a movie called Dead Con, which I've never even fucking heard of, so I'm just gonna say Miles' debut. But this stars, of course, Octavia Spencer. And Octavia Spencer, God bless this woman. She is one of the best actresses we have working, period. Whether you look at her work in, Hidden Figures, I think she's honestly the MVP of the Shape of Water. You look at her in something like Instant Family. She's great in that. The Shack. She is just great, and I didn't even Get On Up. She really is an incredible actress, and it was fascinating to watch her in something that is I don't want to say out of her wheelhouse, but something that's not something you wouldn't normally associate with her necessarily. I appreciate the fact that she jumped into more of the horror genre. I understand that Snowpiercer is definitely a horror film, but you get what I mean. So, anyways, the movie starts off with our lead character, Maggie, played by Diana Silvers. I haven't really seen her in anything. Oh, she was in Booksmart. That's right. I knew I liked her. She's okay. I totally forgot about Booksmart. Holy crap! Yeah, she's amazing, and she plays Maggie. Her mom, Erica, played by Juliette Lewis, who admittedly can be very hit and miss, but I appreciate the fact that she and Diane work so well together as a mother and daughter. So they're moving into this new town. I don't think they say the name of the town. Actually, I think they just kind of go, yep, we're moving. And basically, she goes ahead, goes to this new school, meets some kids who end up becoming her friends, which I actually really appreciate the way that they don't have this be some awkward high school thing. McKaylee Miller, who plays Haley, she's kind of the head of the group that befriends her. I don't remember her in anything. This feels like this was kind of her big debut, but I thought she was really good in this. But she just basically goes up to Maggie and goes like, "Oh," Maggie's eating her lunch, and her mom puts a note. I think it says like "love your butt" or something like, or "you have a great butt" or something like that. Something very tongue in cheek. And Haley even comes up to her and goes, "Oh, you do have a great ass. It's true. I was admiring it the other day." She has a couple friends in her group. Andy, played by Corey Fogelmanis, which is a hell of a last name. Great jawline too. Good for him. Gianni Paolo, who plays Chaz, and then Dante Brown, the black guy, who plays Daryl. And what I appreciate about this film in particular is that the kids are very much kids. This never feels, it really does not feel like adults playing kids, even though these people or these actors and actresses are not, 18, 19. I really actually appreciate the way they portray high school kids here, because they are very much kids. The movie really kicks off because Maggie and her mom are supposed to go to this music concert. Her mom, since she just moved, has to cover this girl's shift, and Maggie goes ahead and hangs out with Haley and the rest of the group. and they're playing the Hey Mister game. Now, for for you kids who are too young to remember, Hey Mister is when you would actually have to go up to someone, an adult in front of a liquor store. You just camp out in front and be like, "Oh, hey Mister, can you get me, A, B, and C?" And it's funny to see that in the movie in 2019 because I'm sure this still happens. I myself have been asked to do that. I don't. Sorry, kids, but I do appreciate the fact that they still are having to do that. So Octavia Spencer Ma goes ahead and helps them out and gets some booze, and they think it's a one-off. But then it turns into a whole thing of her even saying, "Hey, you can come up and party here. You'll always be safe. Don't worry about it." So, as far as the movie itself, the movie, okay, how do I put this? I'm sure there are flaws in this. It's just there are just some coincidences that Ma happens to be a vet, so she's able to get access to these drugs that could, in theory, knock out a human. But how would the dose be the same? Yeah, like all that. You could go ahead and if you want to go ahead and be that person and break this down more, you totally can. And I can't really couldn't argue most of the points you would most likely bring up. For me, this is one of those films that comes down to how much did I enjoy it. If I have a complaint, uh, if I have a complaint, Allison Janney is Octavia Spencer's boss, and you don't. I just thought that Allison Janney was wasted in this. She's in maybe two scenes, has 3 minutes of screen time. Why have Allison Janney if you're not going to go and use her? I thought that was just kind of shitty. Um, but the movie itself has some genuine moments of humor. Missy Pyle's in this movie, who plays Mercedes, who is dating or hooking up with Ben, who's played by Luke Evans. There's a scene where she's giving him head in his van, and he gets a call. You find out from Ma about how his son's been out drinking, and that's the very clever way that Ma goes, "Oh, hey, I bought you guys booze." I mean, she doesn't tell them this, but hey, I have a basement you guys can come hang out in and go ahead and drink and do whatever, and it's fine because they're just hanging out in this random like field, this underpass drinking. And what I appreciate about that plot point in particular is that it's a very clever way to go ahead and actually explain why the kids keep coming back there. It's not just the fact she's buying them booze, it's the fact that they have a safe place to drink it. And I was like, you know what? Fair play, movie. Like, I know some people go like, oh, that's kind of dumb, but I actually thought, given the circumstances, that was very clever. And there is this scene early on, and this is probably my biggest complaint about the movie. Pretty early on, uh, a little confrontation happens with Ma and I want to say it's Andy. No, it's Chaz. Pardon me. And Ma pulls a gun on him, and you're like, and I'm sitting there watching this, going, what the fuck? And she makes him strip down naked. So first off, she made a minor strip down naked. So there's that. But then she goes, "Oh, I was just kidding with you. Like, put that thing away." And Maggie, rightfully so, is sitting there like, "What the fuck? Why is no one else freaking out about this?" But Ma just goes like, "Oh, I was kidding," and everyone else laughs it off, and Maggie's sitting there for a drink, kind of going, what the hell?" It's one of those scenes where I remember just going, "Oh, kids, you should have ran. Like, you have a black kid in your group, you damn sure should have ran." And it's right after that scene that we get some flashbacks to Ma in high school. And here's the thing: I don't even think the movie telegraphs. The movie telegraphs that there's going to be a twist. While you'll probably guess which character the twist involves, the twist itself is something that's so genuinely vile. I went, "Oh wow, that would really fuck you up for years, if not the rest of your life," and that makes a hell of a lot of sense. It, by the way, in no way justifies what she tries to do does and tries to do to these children. But my God, when you find out what happened, it's one of those, oh fuckity fuck. Like, my jaw was genuinely hanging open. They have a couple of jump scares in here because it is a Blumhouse movie, so of course they do. And I really don't think we give Blumhouse enough credit because we look at something like The Invisible Man, which I'm going to review here next week. You look at something like Us, Upgrade. I fucking love Upgrade, even though I haven't reviewed it. Glass, the latest Halloween film. Um, Split. There, Truth or Dare, I actually really liked. Death Day. Blumhouse hits a lot more than they miss. And Get Out. How the hell did I wait to save the best for last? Uh, it's insane how much Blumhouse hits. And yes, their misses are really bad. I haven't reviewed Fantasy Island, but I did watch it. And holy mother of God, it's really fucking bad. But the fact that Blumhouse hits as much as they do, it's impressive. We gotta give Blumhouse a lot of credit on that. I really appreciate how this film does build the tension because one of Ma's rules, like one of her very explicit rules, is, "Hey, you know, hand me your keys so I can make sure you're good to drive. You have to check in with me." And I can't think of the other one, but she says, "Don't go upstairs because it's filthy up there." So earlier on in the movie, Maggie goes ahead and helps this girl get to her class because her wheelchair didn't charge correctly, and it's kind of one of those scenes where you go, "That's kind of random, okay," and that's probably the biggest coincidence where I went, okay, because this girl she helps just happens to be Ma's daughter, who happens to be the girl upstairs, and it's it's a bit of a stretch because they're trying to make this town seem so small. But Maggie makes a point to say when you get in the town that, oh man, this is like a way bigger high school. It's like, okay, well, which is it? Is it a small town? Is it is it a large town? Is it a metropolis? Like, what is it? So I was irritated by that just because it's something I noticed, and once I had it in the forefront of my mind, I was like, well, shit, I can't ignore this. So a little irritated by that, but there's something about this film that I really appreciate that does is it brings up social media. It brings up the fact that social media, if you really wanted to, could be used to go ahead and track someone down. And where Luke Evans comes into the story as far as his significance, I know I mentioned it already, but in case you missed it, I love the way his character is portrayed because he's an absolute piece of shit. And he seems like a piece of shit as an adult, but then when you find out why he was a piece of shit in high school too, it's a very nice. It's good to know that you're right sometimes. The scene with him and Ma at this bar, in particular, is so incredibly tense. I loved the way that scene was played out, and it really does bring up the fact that yeah, shit in high school happens in high school. That shit can scar you because it clearly has scarred Ma, and so by the time you get to the end of the movie, it okay. I can't say you don't feel sorry for her like, oh, she should get away with all this shit, but you go, well, fuck, if this guy hadn't been a fucking monster, this probably isn't happening right now. Which I fucking hated. There's also a great reference to Misery in here that I thought, well played, Blumhouse. I appreciate that. Last thing I'll say before I get to my final thoughts here is there's a scene involving Ma reenacting a yearbook photo, and what she does she does something in that scene that you'll know it when you see it, and it in particular made me go, all right, cool, that went a half a grade because it's a very dark thing she does, and I went, oh, they went there. Okay, movie, I see you. I love the way they did that. I really appreciated it. Above all else, though, this is a fun fucking movie. It gives you just the right amount of tension. Again, there are plot holes in this, yes, but I mean, what horror movie isn't? I mean, who'd still go to Camp Crystal Lake? But it works so well, and I appreciate the end. I appreciate the end for where it ends, for where it ends up, because it could have been something. Me, it could have been something less dark, and I don't want to go further than that. But it's a really dark ending. But I appreciated it. I was like, okay, like I really appreciate that you went there. So I'm gonna give this a solid B plus. I thought there's a lot of fun to be had with this movie. It's something I'll probably buy to just put into my Halloween rotation moving forward. But I thought this was a lot of fun. If I had seen this at full price, I would have left the theater going, yeah, I enjoyed that. So yeah, solid B plus for me. But everyone, uh, Ma, have you seen it? What did you think of it? What's your favorite Bloomhouse movie? Mine is obviously Get Out, but uh, probably Upgrade after that. But yeah, everyone, what's your favorite Blumhouse movie? Let us know what you thought in the comments below. You can follow us, like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman the First. And you can follow Colin on Twitter at The Real O'Neill. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podbean, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio, and Spotify at The Real Pineapple. We will have more reviews up for Halloween. All month, we'll be reviewing some quote scary unquote movies. I hate being scared, but I'm gonna dip more in the horror for this month because I love you guys. But we'll have multiple Halloween reviews up. We'll have a review up for Harley Quinn season 1, which I'm really excited to talk about. Have a review up for Umbrella Academy season 1 and 2. I promise I'm still reviewing those, but got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline for all y'all. So please stay safe out there. Wear a mask. Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.